Number one dream killer. I said I was going to share with you some ways of overcoming your fears today. Why is this topic so important to me? Being courageous, moving toward our fuller realization of our own authentic self is a natural process. What is it that keeps us from realizing our full courageous potential? You got it. Fear. So that's why this topic is so important to me, because there are so many people that aren't living their full authentic selves. You don't get to enjoy who you truly were created to be if you don't get past these fears. And also, you don't get to realize the full potential that you have in life if you don't move past these fears. Hope you get some out of this today. Take some screenshots, do what you gotta do. So we know risk is necessary for change, and change is necessary for growth. And how do we grow if we don't move past these fears? Like, once a fear is brought to our attention, we can decide whether it's rational or irrational. Regardless, it's a fear, but then we decide to put it into perspective and be proactive or reactive with that. The same is true in our life. Many times there are opportunities all around us for us to make our lives exactly as we wish them to be. There are ways to see our biggest problems as our greatest opportunities, if only we can step out of our trained patterns of perception. So a lot of times, for me, I didn't want to go flying because I was fearful that I would die, because I have 4 children, and it's a rational fear. Like, that's what I thought. I'm like, it's a rational fear, but then it was stopping me, right? We said the next filter to run it through, is it a catalyst or is it corroding our lives? So that was another thing that I had to realize, like, this is what's stopping me again from living my dreams. So I'm going to teach you how I got over that. Remember your past successes. Write out your acts of courage. So write down a list of things that you've done that you were afraid of. So like some people, she points out simple things like having a baby, going to work day after day, sustaining relationships, the courage to fall in love, the courage to be honest with yourself, survive a loss, move away from home, share a fear with a friend, ask for a raise, take on a job that challenges us, growing older even, just moving on. Or telling someone when you're angry or hurt. Writing down a list of the things you've done even though you felt afraid. So even those little simple things, just having those acts of courage and being like, hey, I overcame that, I can overcome this. So just also those things that you accomplished in the past, and being like, hey, I overcame some things through that in order to achieve that goal. I can do this as well. Phobias are real. A lot of times, like, a fear of spiders or whatever, is to educate yourself about them and to be afraid because, these ones aren't poisonous. It's kind of putting things into perspective. I used to live on a farm and we had coyotes, and I was so fearful of them because they sounded so loud and there's so many of them. And yeah, it's rational fear. My dad said, they're more fearful of you than you are of them. So as I got older, I didn't fear them. So then me and my friend were walking along, and we were out on the highway, and a coyote came, and I wasn't like, she was freaking out, and I was just like, I just made a loud noise and it ran away. So it was just like, you learn the techniques of how to overcome once you stop being afraid. So fearing the unknown, that's what a lot of times stops us. So know it. Having role models, seeing how other people overcame those things, and also seeing that people have overcome those things. So like me, I started reading Tony Robbins and being like, okay, how did he do this? How did he do this? So then I started making notes. Having a dream defined to work towards. It is amazing how you can just like run into a wall like 10 times just so you can burst through it that once and make that progress. The first time I approached this one protein company, they were like, no, we don't sell to personal trainers because they have, hurt the market in the past. And I'm like, look, I'm an honest person and I will not undercut people. And so I just kept pressing, and they finally said, yes, okay, we'll let you sell our product. So I was like, yes. And that one success just drove me to the next and to the next and to the next. But I was fearful. I was fearful that I would never become anything and that I would never be able to accomplish anything. But that one little success was what fueled me to say, don't settle for no. You go. Fear is your no and your go, right? So I stopped settling for no. Also taking that baby step towards overcoming it. Like, have your plan in place. Like, okay, next time this happens, like Tony Robbins talks about disrupting the pattern. And so you gotta like, okay, this is my thought process. Whenever I see a spider, this is how I react. Okay, no, what am I gonna do next time? So you have a plan in place, and then you even can start visualizing it, what you're gonna do next time. How to start dealing with those fears. Like, okay, for me, how I got over fear of flying is disassociating. I would put myself in a different place. I would put my headphones in. I would stop those negative thoughts, those fearful thoughts from happening by not thinking on them. And by like, I would take myself out of the situation and distracting myself with my favorite tunes and being like, okay, this is what stopped me. Okay, there's 3 times I have gotten on a plane for more than 11 hours. So one was to Israel, and one was to India, and one was to Indonesia. So that's not just a quick trip, right? It's a long airplane ride. You are above the ocean and there is turbulence. So I got over that fear just by distracting myself and being prepared, knowing what to expect. And so it's pretty much you're walking step by step and you don't see the big picture. You just be like, okay, I just gotta pack my bags and this will be okay. And then next it's like, okay, I just need to get on this plane and it'll be okay. And then I'd be like, I'm just gonna watch a movie while I'm on this plane to distract myself. And you know, it's just like those little baby steps to get you over that. Associating pain or pleasure with it. So a lot of times when we have a dream or goal to work towards, we overcome that fear by realizing that there's pleasure on the other side. So a lot of times a fear of failure is a huge one for me. And so you gotta keep trying, you know, like, because if ultimately that's what's gonna kill my dream is because I stopped too soon, that would just kill me. I can't give up on my dreams, and I hope you don't give up on yours either. Just role models, but knowing of heroes in the past, Corrie ten Boom, she overcame Nazi concentration camps. And then David Wilkerson, he actually started Teen Challenge, and the things he overcame just to help people with addictions, it's just truly amazing. So if you really want to make an impact in this world, live your authentic self so that we can all benefit. Bring those heroes of faith in the Bible. Greater is he that is living in me than he that is in the world. So also my faith gives me strength over my fear. I don't have to fear because the Lord is with me, and if I know I'm doing his will, I have nothing to fear, and I can courageously go and attack the day. You know what? And as you conquer each fear, I hope that you say, bring it. And that you start seeing these fears as a challenge to overcome instead of something to run from. You run towards it. So run towards your fears today. And see it as like a hill to climb, or a mountain to overcome, or a wall to break through. You know, you can do this. You got this. So I hope these tips and tricks helped you today, and you guys have a great weekend. And God bless.
attain.